What is up, guys? Alex here. I have this Cubot C30 phone. This is not a bad phone for the price. It has good cameras, good display. The results may shock you in like a game test, but other than that, this phone is actually not that bad. I'm gonna be reviewing it, talking about its specs, if you should actually buy it. Of course, the cameras and other stuff like that. But without further ado, let's get on into the video. So first things first, I want to mention is the design. It has a 6.4-inch screen, right? And the screen is actually not that bad. Although I do suggest removing the screen protector because it does feel a little bit like cheap and stuff like that. So it's not like the screen protector on the Pocophone F2 Pro, but that one is really good. But you can let that slide for the price of this phone. The price of this phone is not that much to begin with, so you can leave it on if you want, but I don't recommend leaving it on. I personally just don't like the feel of it. It feels like sticky and stuff like that. I just don't like it. But as a 6.4-inch screen, and it has a hole punch on the top for the camera. The sides are pretty much like the iPhone 12, where they're just border to border, pretty much like square. They're a little bit round, but they're pretty much like the iPhone 12. Other than that, it has a fingerprint scanner on the side right here. Turn on button on top of that fingerprint scanner. What I sort of wish they would have made it so the fingerprint scanner was the turn on button, and as you turn it on, the phone will automatically unlock because of the turn on button. Then you have the volume button on the side, and you can also attach your chip, your SIM card on this side right here. Other than that, the cameras on the back has a quad camera. It looks like this, a lot like the design from the iPhone 12. But this phone may shock you in many different ways that I'm gonna mention later on in the video. It has the speaker holes at the bottom, and it has a USB Type-C also at the bottom, which I like. The price of this phone is really good, and it has USB Type-C, those things that you just wouldn't see on old phones with a USB Type-C. So that's pretty much it about the design. This phone is honestly really good. It doesn't feel, it doesn't feel like it's just made out of plastic and then like the hardware is bad. No, the hardware for this phone is actually really good. I could definitely see myself using this as my daily driver, but like from this video for like a couple weeks. Because the Pocophone F2 Pro, I also have that one, but I could definitely see somebody using this as your daily driver and not have a problem with this phone whatsoever. But that was it for the design. Now I want to talk about specs and other stuff that this phone actually brings that is really good. So first things out of the box, it doesn't come with headphones, which is a bummer. So you do have to watch out for that. It doesn't come with headphones. Right, but it does come with a USB, pretty long USB Type-C charger. And it does come with a screen protector and a case. I don't have the case because I like the way the phone looks. See, this is green. This is like some sort of like matte green, and it looks really good. It looks like the same material that they made the iPhone 11 Pro Max out of. So I think it's really good. So now let's talk camera. So this phone has a quad camera, a 46 megapixel camera, wide lens, a 60 megapixel ultra wide, and a 5 megapixel telephoto camera. Now I don't know what this means, but I'm just gonna say it off the spec sheet. It has a 0.3 megapixel main camera. So saying it's the main camera, I recommend using the 48 megapixel wide camera. Now camera wise, the frontal camera is a 32 megapixel selfie camera, and it's a whole punch. Like imagine the S10, right? Like the S10, like just the regular S10 with one whole camera, doesn't have two. So it is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty good. 32 megapixels, not that bad. Now the screen resolution is 1080 by 2310 pixels. So it doesn't look all that good. It doesn't look like 4K. It doesn't look, how do I say this, Ultra HD, but it's there. You're definitely gonna let it slide after you hear the price of this phone. Then the CPU. So this has a this CPU is a MediaTek Helio P60 CPU. Never heard of that company that manufactures that CPU ever in my life. Never heard of them. It does run Call of Duty Mobile though. It runs Call of Duty Mobile pretty well, and it has a GPU Mali G72 chip for the GPU, right? And it's not that bad. It definitely runs Call of Duty Mobile. I want to see if it can run Fortnite because Call of Duty Mobile does sort of like have some low textures within the game that allow it to run. I want to see if it can run Fortnite though, at high graphics. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM. And remember that resolution is 1080 by 2310. So this is not the best looking screen, but it's alright, you know, it's alright. The video for you to record is, I guess, only 1080p pixels. You know, for a 48 megapixel camera, I would expect more than that, the 1080p for 30 frames. But who knows, maybe recording with this phone may not be so bad, you know what I'm saying? So video could have been better, and it weighs 190 grams, so it's not, you know, all that heavy. If I pull out my Pocophone F2 Pro right here, you can definitely feel that the Pocophone F2 Pro is way bigger. Like, if you see them right here side by side, you can definitely see it's way bigger. And I personally like light phones. That way, I don't feel, you know, too constrained with a heavy phone. Other than that, you know, this has a 4,200 milliamp hour battery, so it can definitely last you all day. You know, I'm on a single charge on my Pocophone F2 Pro, and I'm at 5% right now, and that has happened to me for 3 days, and I've been fine on a single charge on the Pocophone F2 Pro. So I have no fear that this phone can last you up to 3 days, maybe even 4 on a single charge if you use it, you know, normally. You know, the display's not that big, the cameras are not that good, you know, if you take a lot of pictures. If you play video games, then it may be a problem, but other than that, this phone is really good. You can either get it 120 gigabytes of storage or 256. You know, with the 256, you're only gonna get 8 gigabytes, and same for the 128. Other than that, this one's pretty good. You know, while I was talking about the CPU, I was showing you guys images of me playing Call of Duty Mobile. This one is actually really good. Now, I'm gonna mention it doesn't have waterproofing whatsoever. It doesn't have a headphone jack, which is bad. I may test it out with headphones that use USB Type-C. If it doesn't work, then I don't know what to say, because I really just don't see a headphone port or headphone jack on this phone. So I don't know how you're gonna be like connected your headphones, and one didn't come in the box. So, you know, I don't know how that's gonna work, but I hope, you know, if I use headphones that use USB Type-C to headphones, then maybe it'll work. But other than that, you know, this one is not that bad. You know, showing you guys pictures of the cameras, you know, it doesn't look that bad, and it runs Call of Duty Mobile quite decent. I'm not gonna lie, this phone definitely runs Call of Duty Mobile pretty decent. I wouldn't say it's better than a Pocophone F2 Pro or a Note 20 Ultra, because this is, you know, how do you say this, medium flagship, or definitely not a flagship phone. It's right in the middle. It's a cheap phone that you can buy, you know, if you want to give it to somebody on Christmas, especially on Black Friday. If you want to buy it there, recommend buying it on Black Friday, because the price pretty much cuts in half, and it's super affordable at that price. So battery is good, cameras is good, RAM is good, it runs games. I'm not gonna lie, it runs games. I sort of wish that the software would have been a little bit more updated, or the skin would have looked better. It does have Android 10, but I guess I got used to the Pocophone F2 Pro's of skin over Android. I don't know if that's just me, but this phone, other than that, has a fingerprint sensor on the side, and it's really good in my opinion. Now let's go on into the conclusion. In conclusion, this phone is amazing. I 100% recommend you guys buy this phone. Why? It is only $200. Yes, you get quad camera, 48 megapixel ultra wide camera, you know, 8 gigabytes of RAM, a Mali G72 GPU, a MediaTek Helio P60, which I don't know what that's like. I may run some benchmarks after this video. 42,000 milliamp hour battery, a 1080 by 2310 a pixel resolution screen. You get a 32 megapixel selfie camera. So this phone is pretty much as budget as you can get for a good phone. It's not a $10 phone, you know, because those $10 phones, they're kind of trash because they're $10. People gotta make money on it. This phone is pretty much as budget as it can get. Has a good design for the cameras, you know, it's not that bad. I mean, look at the screen like that. That looks really, really good. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, hope you guys enjoyed, and it has Face ID as well if you want to unlock it with Face ID. I'm pretty sure it has Face ID, but it also has PIN. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.